How powerful tornadoes are destroying. The citizens of Rolling Fork, Mississippi remain blissfully unaware of the impending disaster that was rapidly bearing down on them around 8:30 p.m. Meteorologists were quite concerned when they learned earlier in the day that there was a significant chance of severe weather developing in the southern United States. Though such predictions are not entirely uncommon, this particular prognosis caught the interest of weather enthusiasts as well as experts. The main cause for concern was a trough that was situated in the upper atmosphere. A trough is an extended area of low pressure that frequently produces powerful storms, including tornadoes. On Wednesday, when this trough was supposed to go across the nation, it became evident that a concerning situation was emerging in the southern states. The Storm Prediction Center, SPC, has issued a Level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk warning, primarily focusing on the area around the Louisiana-Mississippi border. Although the SPC rarely issued a warning this early, it did allude to the potential severity of the weather, but it was still unclear how dangerous things really were. Unfortunately, those who called this place home were about to discover just how bad things would really get. With worsening weather, the SPC upgraded the warning to moderate risk, an even rarer designation. When this rating was updated, there was a 15% hatch chance for tornadoes. It is vital to understand that this means that there is a 15% probability of a dangerous EF2 or bigger tornado occurring within 25 miles of any specific spot, not that there is a 15% likelihood of any tornadoes developing. As the likelihood of a major tornado outbreak rose, more and more people began to take precautionary steps. Meteorologist Reed Timmer expressed his worry on social media, stating that he expected an outbreak of tornadoes on Friday, possibly including powerful to devastating ones. He also cautioned that there could be serious problems caused by this storm. It seemed that a large portion of the population in the southern states remained mostly unaffected because, despite having been informed about the problem, they did not fully understand how serious it was. As the evening wore on, several states, including the middle part of Tennessee and potentially even Kentucky, were under threat from strong storms and the possibility of long-track tornadoes. In Rolling Fork, however, the day went on as usual, with many residents going about their lives as usual, blissfully ignorant of the storm that was about to turn everything upside down. The local animal shelter is operating as usual, and a lost dog was just found and returned to its owners, but there are dark clouds gathering in the sky above. Warm, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico is well positioned to clash with a rapidly building depression. Meteorological tools like water vapor photography demonstrate how unstable the atmosphere is, indicating high atmospheric instability. By late afternoon, thunderstorms are rapidly developing throughout the state of Louisiana. These storms are perfect for severe weather conditions despite their dispersed and disorganized nature. This is because they are full of energy. As these storms move eastward, they encounter favorable conditions that may cause them to start rotating. Thunderstorms that begin to rotate quickly become supercells, a dangerous kind of storm that can be identified by its rotation. Any number of extreme weather phenomena, such as strong winds, violent hail, torrential rain, lightning, and tornadoes, can occur while the storm rotates. A tornado watch was issued for a large region, encompassing the states of Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Tennessee at 5:15 p.m. Even though the storms were chaotic overall, there was still uncertainty about how the tornadoes developed because they needed specific circumstances to emerge. As the sun descended, so did the amount of moisture and heat energy, both of which supercells require. A supercell near Highway 1 is now regarded as significant due to its swift growth, fast spinning, and generation of massive hail and intense rain. Because of this, even though the supercell had not yet formed a tornado, the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning for many counties in Mississippi. At 7:57 p.m., radar picked up both a debris signature and a rotation signature. The former suggested strong rotational motion, while the latter suggested the presence of debris. This signal, which had a noticeable shift in color, indicated the presence of debris including earth, trees, and building components, indicating the possibility of a tornado. When the tornado first appeared, it was only a little one that damaged some fields, but it quickly grew into a strong vortex. Storm chasers captured the evolving shape of what started out small and finally evolved into a wide and deadly tornado. According to estimates, the tornado's devastation stretched over half a mile, and its inner funnel was more than a quarter mile wide. The community of Rolling Fork, Mississippi, which lies northeast of the tornado, was placed under a rare tornado emergency by the National Weather Service because of the severe threat posed by this kind of tornado, known as a wedge tornado. Throughout the whole occurrence, it was nearly hard to observe the tornado with the unaided eye due to the cloud cover and severe rain. It came to its first residential sector, a stretch of 3 houses on Ending Bar Road, at 8 minutes and 5 seconds after 8 o'clock. There was a power flash as a result of an electrical transformer explosion. This resulted in the first noticeable sign of the tornado's devastating power in a populated region. The fact that the tornado tore off one house's roof before starting to shred metal was evidence of its growing strength. The tornado's predicted path initially indicated that it would avoid a direct hit by eroding the edges of residential areas. But the tornado veered eastward and directly at the Indian Bayou area as it crossed Ending Bar Road. The area was hit by the tornado with such deadly accuracy as it grew stronger, destroying every house on the block and uprooting trees to the point where their bark was entirely gone. Photos revealed significant wreckage, including paint-scratched signs and significant damage to houses and trees. The second strongest tornado classification, an EF4 rating, was consistent with the damage that was observed. This storm resulted in multiple people being buried alive under the debris, and at least 2 fatalities were reported right on that street. The tornado was far from done with its assault and was still developing along this terrible route. The structures across the road were struck by the tornado as it proceeded on its destructive path. There was significant damage as a result of the destruction of these buildings and the debris that was blown into dwellings that were not in its direct route. The tornado appeared for the first time in a residential neighborhood at 8:05 p.m. Every property on Ending Bar Road was severely damaged, and it even lofted a semi-truck, which smashed into a house and killed Lonnie and Melissa Pierce. The bright lights that storm chasers orbiting the tornado recorded on video were most likely coming from an automobile that was being thrown around by the storm. The tornado's level of devastation intensified as it approached the town's edge, seriously damaging the town's animal shelter in addition to other nearby buildings such as the funeral home. After tearing up grass and demolishing brick buildings, the tornado carried on and eventually reached Collette Avenue. It was one of the most violent tornadoes, with winds reaching up to 190 miles per hour and traveling at over 50 miles per hour. It was on the verge of receiving an EF5 rating. It killed 12 before it reached Rolling Fork, transforming industrial neighborhoods into scenes akin to nuclear explosions as it continued its assault. A number of residences in Rolling Fork were destroyed by the storm, including Damon Harris' home, where his mother tragically died. Numerous homes were wrecked, massive cars were pushed into buildings, and Rolling Fork's water tower was torn off its foundation. The storm killed a number of people and totally destroyed a park for mobile homes. The entire town was affected by the damage, which was said to have happened in less than 3 minutes. At 8:10 p.m., the tornado departed Rolling Fork and left a swath of devastation in its wake. The tornado continued to affect Silver City, a smaller community with a greater concentration of vulnerable mobile homes, even after it weakened after Rolling Fork. It did a great deal of damage before steadily getting worse and then vanishing into the jungle. There were 22 fatalities, the report said. A variety of emergency professionals, including storm chasers and volunteers, started the search and rescue efforts. After the hospitals in Rolling Fork were destroyed, Field Hospital was established. However, it was only operational for a short time. Nevertheless, rehabilitation efforts got on immediately, even though March 24th was a day filled with massive devastation. Even though the town would never be the same, the president's visits and volunteer assistance gave the town hope for rehabilitation. In satellite photos shot the day after the accident, a significant number of cars were visible lining the streets, demonstrating the community's resolve to rebuild and move past the tragedy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon.